So let us see the magnitudes of the sags with two case studies which are called as calculation of the sag, calculation of the sag, so magnitude of the calculation of the sag at equal supports. So let us assume that there are two towers. These are the two towers which are placed on the flat surface over which this is support A and this is support B. These are the top points of the supports where this is a line joining the supports of the tower, and next this is the profile of the conductor where it was running in between the two successive towers, and because of equal supports the entire magnitude means the lowest point of the conductor, in general we call it as O, it lies at mid span. So let me assume that this mid span is of L by 2 where L is the span length. Here also it is L by 2. Okay, so that this lowest point of the conductor O lies at mid span of the conductor's towers, that is L, at half of the points L by 2, L by 2. Now I want to calculate the magnitude of this sag, that is the deviation in between the line joining the top levels of the support and the lowest point of the conductor. Technically we call that as capital S sag. Okay, so how to calculate this sag? Let me take a point P. Let me take a point P on the conductor, and we assume that the lowest point of the conductor is the origin point for our calculation in the two-dimensional plane as an x-axis and y-axis. So in a 2D plane, two-dimensional plane, O, lowest point of the conductor, acts as a origin, and P is the point which is taken on the conductor. Therefore the coordinates are, the point P is assumed at a distance of x meters and at a point of y. So x and y are the coordinates. X and y are the coordinates of the point P which are measured from the lowest point of the conductor. Also we know that let this WC is equal to weight of the conductor per unit length. Then L is the span length. And next P is the point at which capital S is equal to sag, and next capital T is equal to tension on the conductor in kgs. Okay, and a point P is selected on the conductor whose coordinates are x and y with respect to the origin O, where O is the lowest point of the conductor. As I know that WC is the weight of the conductor per unit length, so the length of this sectional OP is identified as x meters. So the weight of the conductor for this OP portion will be WX. So for a portion of OP, the weight of the conductor is WC into X. So that weight of the conductor WC into X, entire weight of that small sectional part OP called as WCX, lies at a distance of x by 2. because at midpoint the entire weight exists for that small portion of OP. Okay, and next the tension acting upon the point P due to this OP portion will be a tangential direction with capital T. Then there are two forces acting. Two forces are acting for that portion OP of the conductor length. They are WC into X weight acting at a point of X by 2 meters from O, and capital T is the tension acting horizontally or tangentially at point O for a weight of, for a vertical length of Y at point P. At point P, taking the momentums due to these forces, taking the momentum due to these forces, then what we get is the momentum due to the vertical weight WCX, which exists at a distance of X by 2 with respect to O. This momentum should be equal to the momentum that is due to its tensile strength on the conductor. The tensile strength on the conductor is its tension capital T, which happens for a vertical length of Y at a point of P meters or P point, so that the momentums will be same at O and P, so that WCX into X by 2 should be equal to T into Y. Therefore, the Y, which is considered as sag for a portion of OP length, I am interested first in calculating the sag for this OP length, which will be extended up to this point B, because O was the reference for any calculation. I took this point P on the conductor, so that the deviation between this point P and the lowest point of the conductor is to be Y. Then this Y is called as a sag at a point P. So sag at a point P defaultly measures from O always is Y. Therefore, I have to calculate that Y. If I extend the same concept, this P is extended to B from O, so that the length will be L by 2. And I will have the sag called as capital S. That is my intention in calculating for a small portion length of OP. Then the point Y is equal to, from the equation, WC X square by 2T. This is very important equation. Where sag at any point is equal to, I mean to say, Y can be rewritten as the sag at any point capital S suffix small p. Sag at any point P, as I told you, Y is equal to point P sag. Therefore, SP is equal to weight of the conductor per unit length is common into, for this P, the length of the section is X meters. Therefore, it is X square by 2 times the tension on the conductor is the general formula. So, sag at any point is given by WC X square by 2T, where WC is the weight of the conductor per unit length. X is the distance at which the point P is located from point origin, that is called O, and capital T is the tension that was acting upon the conductor. So, up to now we calculated the magnitude of the sag for this sectional portional length of OP, that is concentrated at point P with reference to O. But our objective is not to find out at point P. Our objective is to find out at point B. Let me extend the same concept. As I know that SP is equal to, just now we written the formula, WC X square by 2T. This is the mathematical equation. WC X square by 2T. If I want SB, that is sag at a point nearer to the tower B, then I have to write this as sag at a point B, which is in general our notation I will represent that as capital S, because this deviation as per definition we got that it is capital S. Therefore, SB is equal to S whose value should be equal to WC is the weight per unit length conductor, WC. Previously I written x because point P is located at a distance of x meters from the origin. But now I want the distance between point B and O. These two are located at a distance of L by 2. Then in the place of x I have to write it as L by 2 whole square by 2 into tension on the conductor. Then sag at the tower or support. Sag at the tower or support SB, which is equal to capital S, is equal to WC L square by 4 2s are 8 T S. The sag at the support is equal to WC L square by 8 T. Here 2 points are important. They are whenever the towers or the supports are at equal heights. This was the condition what we took at the starting of our derivation. Whenever the two supports are at equal heights, then the magnitude of sag is directly given with a formula called WC L square by 8T. Other than the supports, for any length of the conductor, upon the conductor at any point, let me take that point as capital P, other than B and other than A, let me take a point P. So the magnitude of that sag at that point P is given by WC. Point P is located at a distance of x, that is why x square by 2t. So the denominator plays a major role. For equal supports it is 8t. Other than equal supports, at any point if you want the sag, then at the denominator you can observe 2t. This is at most important. Therefore the magnitude of the sag is equal to WC L square by 8t, where WC is the conductor per unit length, weight of the conductor per unit length, L is the span length, capital T is the tension that was acting upon the conductor, and capital S is the sag. Here SP stands for sag at an intermediate point P, which is located on the conductor and is measured from origin, that is lowest point of the conductor O. Okay, observing this formula we can recall the previous discussion, that is the sag depends upon 5 factors. They are weight per conductor unit length, weight of the conductor per unit length as a first factor, directly proportional. Second factor is the span length, whose magnitude of sags are directly proportional to L square, square of the span length. And next it depends upon the tension on the conductor, which is inversely related, therefore sag is inversely proportional to T. And next, in addition to this WC, there are 2 more weights called weight due to wind pressure that is blowing up on the conductor with directly proportional, weight due to the ice accumulated on the surface of the conductors in winter season due to flow of snowfall, due to snowfall. So that sag is directly proportional to the weight of the ice also. And also sag is directly proportional to temperatures. So up to now we completed the portion of calculation of the sag whenever the supports are at equal heights. So the next continuation will be the same sag calculations whenever the supports are at unequal heights. Now let us see the calculation of the sag in the second case, that is sag at unequal supports. Sag at unequal supports. As the name itself says that the supports are at unequal. In real time we can observe such a type of transmission line whenever it is passing on the hilly stations because of gradient. So whenever there is a gradient or in hilly stations or river crossing, whenever the transmission line is running over against a river crossing, then the heights of the supports will not be at equal heights, so that we can consider that case as unequal supports. So let me take that example to be as, so this is the ground level. In general, this was the ground level. Due to the river crossing, as they are of unequal heights, we can consider that this is the support A. Okay, so this is the support A. Let me call this as a lowest support, and this is support B, assumed to be tallest support, support B and support A. Okay, and there is a difference of the supports in between these two. Let me call that as, if you check it, these two supports are having a difference of h, small h, where small h is the difference of the two support levels of A and B. In between these two, the conductor is running. Let me assume that the conductor is running in a profile path of A like this. Okay, so that the lowest point of the conductor O, now it is not at mid span, as I am assuming that this entire length of the distance between the two supports is L meters, thereby this point O, it is not located at its mid span, it was located at a distance. It is identified that the point O was located at a distance of x1 meters, and the same point O with respect to the tallest tower is identified at a distance of x2 meters, where x1 and x2 are the distances with respect to smallest support and tallest support of point O. So point O plays a major role in our calculation part or derivation part, where it is considered to be as origin. And we also know that the distance between the two supports is called as span length L, and the weight of the conductor is assumed to be Wc. Thereby the calculated sag or the estimated sag between this lowest point of the conductor and with respect to support of lowest support, smallest support, is S1. S1 is the sag with respect to smallest tower, shortest tower. And next, with respect to same point O to the tallest tower, the sag is identified to be S2. These are the points of assumption. Let us write clearly. S1 is equal to sag with respect to shortest tower, shortest support, and this sag S1 is identified for a meters of x1 meters. It is identified for x1 meters, and sag S2 is also identified with respect to tallest tower for a distance of x2 meters. Right now this is S1 sag identified at x1 meters with respect to O, and S2 is the sag with respect to tallest tower or support, and that tallest tower, with respect to that tallest tower, the point O is located at a distance of x2. As we know that sag at any point in the previous discussion, sag at any point on the conductor called as SP is equal to WC x square by 2t. Here also T is the tension on the conductor. Now let me write for the formula of S1. So when I try to write the formula for S1, first of all I have to follow the basic principle or the basic formula WC x square by 2t. I know the weight of the conductor per unit length, it should be WC by 2t is the general denominator. If you check S1 is the sag that is measured with respect to the shortest tower at point O, and this point O is located at a distance of x1. Therefore I have to put here x1. So that WC x1 square by 2t is the magnitude of S1. Similarly, sag S2 is equal to the same weight per unit conductor length divided by 2t is in the denominator. Now S2, what is our assumption S2? S2 is the sag that was available for the tallest tower. This tallest support is located at a distance of x2 meters with respect to same origin O. Therefore, in the formula I have to put it here x2. Therefore, WC is equal to x2 square by 2t. WC is equal to x2 square by 2t. Hence, S1, S2 are known values. Also, we know that as per our geometric principles, the difference of this S2 and S1 is nothing but height h. Thereby, I will take the difference between this S2 and S1, which is equal to height h. Height difference in the support levels. Thereby, WC x2 square by 2t minus WC x1 square by 2t is equal to h. So that x2 square minus x1 square is equal to 2th divided by WC. Expanding this, a square minus b square, we know that it is a plus b into a minus b. So that x2 plus x1 multiplied by x2 minus x1, it is equal to 2th by WC, where WC is the weight of the conductor per unit length. And now we can write this x2 plus xl as x2 plus x1. These two summation is equal to its span length. Thereby, the difference of the identified distances x2 minus x1 can be written as 2th by WC into L. Let it be equation 1. Also, we know that sum of the two identified distances x2 and x1, x2 plus x1 is equal to span length L. Let it be equation 2. So add up these equations 1 and 2 for further simplification. We get that on adding these two, x1 get cancelled and 2x2 is equal to adding up those two, 2th by WC into L plus L. Thereby, the distance x2 is calculated as L by 2 plus th by WCL. So this is our x2 calculation, which will be helpful for our S2, because once if you know x2, then substitute here and get the value of S2. That is our requirement. In the same way, you want to calculate S1, requires x1. Then x1 calculation, if you simplify it here, we know that x2 plus x1 is equal to L by L. Substitute this x2 value, so that x1 is equal to L minus x2. So x1 is equal to L minus, what is x2? L by 2 minus th by WCL. So that x1 is equal to L by 2 minus th by WCL. So finally we got the magnitudes of x1 and x2. Objective is to find out x1, x2. So x1 value L by 2 minus th by WL. This is x1 value. Helpful for calculating S1 using a formula. S1 is equal to WC x1 square by 2t. After finding out x1, substitute here to get S1. In the same lines, objective is to get S2, whose formula is S2 is equal to WC x2 square by 2t. Then what is the formula for x2? So formula for x2 is equal to L by 2 plus th by WL. In all the cases, L stands for span length, T stands for the tension on the conductor, H stands for difference between the support levels, small l stands for span length, W stands for weight of the conductor per unit length. So only two sequence of steps are identified here. They are, first of all, calculate x1 and x2, that is the distances between the support levels and the lowest point of the conductor to be identified, that is x1 and x2. After getting x1 x2, substitute in our known formulas of sags to get the values of s1 s2. Okay, and next, these are the two general case studies what we have so far analyzed: equal support levels and unequal support levels. So in general, if we go for the real-time applications, there the weight of the conductor alone doesn't takes place, because atmospheric conditions are also to be considered. Like under winter season, whenever the snowfall is more, then the conductor surface is accumulated with the snow called ice coating. So because of that ice coating, the weight of the conductor in addition to WC, it increases its weight. So whenever that weight of the conductor gets increased, then obviously it affects the magnitude of the sag. Also, under abnormal conditions like stormy weather conditions, a largest blow of wind occurs. So because of that wind flow, a pressure is applied on the conductor so that the conductor will swing with certain velocity. So what was the pressure acting upon the conductor? That pressure will affect the magnitudes of the sags. So that we have to calculate the same sag calculation whenever the conductors are subjected to two case studies as a real-time applications. They are, the first one, ice accumulating on the conductor, and the second one, conductor subjecting to the wind pressure. Okay, so let us see how to calculate those weights in detail.